Thanks for coming to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Seafoam again. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you would have seen me do a Seafoam video, another Seafoam video, where I'm showing with the lawnmower and stuff. You might have seen it, all that smoke. Yeah. So that video was just to show that the smoke coming out of the actual lawnmower itself was not carbon being burnt, carbon deposits being burnt, leaving the engine. And in fact, it was actually seafoam, or just a rich condition and unburnt fuel coming out. Some of you got it, some of you didn't get it. I don't know. Some of you got it. Some of you just understood exactly what I was trying to say, and some of you just totally missed it. But no, not a problem. Quite a few comments were said in there, which I liked. That was interesting. Loads of stupid, just dumb comments, and lots of people just guessing and pretending like they actually know. But you know, that's life. But anyway, we're back to this, and we are going to be testing it again, testing Seafoam again. But this time we're going to be doing it a little bit different. We're going to be doing the when used in fuel line, vacuum or induction part of the Seafoam capability. Now, what it says here is that it cleans intakes, valves and pistons due to deposit buildup, reduces hesitation and rough idle due to deposit buildup, restore power pickup lost due to deposit buildup, again clean throttle plate due to deposit buildup. So what it's saying is cleans the inside of the engine. That's what it's saying. That's what that part does. Now, a lot of people say in their videos on how to use Seafoam that they put a third in the tank, a third in the crankcase, and a third through the vacuum hose. I'm just here to say that it doesn't actually say that. It doesn't actually say that you have to do it in that order. It says you can, it gives you the options of what to do, but it doesn't actually give you a direction of use, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't tell you, you have to do that first, you have to do that second, and you have to do that third. It doesn't give you that. It just gives you options of what you do, what you can do with it, and what it does when you use it in that method. So, you know, it's entirely up to you. Nowhere here does it say that they're actually interlinked with each other. So what we're going to do, we're going to add it to the gas, we're going to add it to the fuel, and we're also going to add it to the vacuum intake hose. That's what we're going to add it to, them two things. So it says here that 1 ounce of Seafoam treats a gallon of fuel. So, you know, we're going to be putting a gallon of fuel in and seeing if that works. Now, my only problem with using it in the fuel is that when you think about it, if you put a cleaner in a dirty fuel tank that's running through dirty lines that also has to go through a dirty fuel filter, my question is where does all that dirt really end up? Like, where does it all end up? Because your filter, which may be dirty, isn't going to clean it out of the filter and take it to the injectors, where it's going to cause problems, because that's why injectors block in the first place, because dirt and residue and carbon buildup is getting caught up in and around the injectors. Isn't it going to block them up? I don't know. This is why I've always been a little bit skeptical about using those sort of cleaners, but we're going to do it anyway. So, time to look at our test car. It is an amazing car. It's basically, I call it the Bentley. It's got 2 doors. It's a coupe. It's basically a coupe. It's got 2 doors. It's silver. It's got all the extras you need. It really has. I call it the baby Bentley, but we're going to go look at that now. Okay, so it's not exactly a Bentley. In fact, it's nothing like a Bentley. It's a Nissan Micra. It's a little bit tatty. It's a bit beaten up, you know, a bit Rihanna'd. Looks like it's been in a relationship with King Kong. But saying that, looks ain't everything, and it is mechanically sound, and it's going to be suitable for what we're going to use it for. Now, it's got 96,000 miles on it, and it's still in pretty decent running order, bar the gearbox that just screams. Anyway, so this is going to be our test subject. So the first thing we've got to do now from here is to test the engine. Not test, inspect the engine. We're going to be looking at the top of the engine, seeing what it's like in there. Then we're going to be using the Seafoam formula, and then after we've used the Seafoam formula, we're going to look back at the engine to see if it's made any difference, you know. So it's just a test. It's not, I'm not saying it works or don't work. It's just a test and a review. That's you know, yeah. So let's go and have a look at the engine and see what it's like in there. Okay, so now it's on to inspecting the engine. Now we're going to be inspecting the piston heads, the actual top of the piston. So we're going to need to gain access through the spark plug holes. So it's just a simple thing of just removing the parts that you need to remove the spark plugs. So these are the coil packs. These are the pencil coil packs, and yeah, to remove the spark plugs, as I said before. As usual, I like to loosen it and then actually undo the rest by hand, just because I've cross-threaded things before and it's not a funny thing. So just take your time and take them back out. What you see me doing here is just pushing the coil packs back in there, because I don't actually want anything to fall back into the cylinder head itself. So I just put them in there as a cover. Okay, so with my endoscope, we're going into piston 1. Okay, so yeah, as you see, it's in the spark plug hole, and this is piston 1. Now this is the top of the piston in that, obviously in piston 1, and you can see that there's quite a build-up of carbon on the head of that piston. It's just old fuel. It's quite common in cars that haven't been treated. This is very, this is what happens. You get carbon build-up. Okay, you can see the same on carbon 2, maybe a little bit worse. I think that's a 2 on there or something. But it's got build-up and residue, unburnt carbon, which is just crusted on, much like you'd get on a pot or pan. It's the same sort of thing. So as you can see, it's quite crusted up there, and I've just got the edge of the cylinder wall in the corner. Same thing goes for piston 3. Same thing. It's just crusted up carbon all over it, and just in that sort of shape, not really ever been treated. It's got like a little focal point in the center. That's where the spark plug actually burns and creates that kind of disparity. Now this is number 4. This 4 looks, in my opinion, a little bit worse, a little bit more built up. But yep, still all of them are pretty cruddy in my position. So, anything would be good. If it could clean this up, it'd be excellent. Before we start this test, we're going to have a closer look at Seafoam, the product itself. So that's all pretty easy stuff. All you have to do is come to your search bar, write MSDS, Seafoam, and this will come up. You get two. You get one to go directly to the Seafoam website itself, or you could just go straight to the PDF, the MSDS document. And you just click on that and it comes up pretty much like this. So MSDS stands for Material Safety Data Sheet. It gives you all the information about what's in the product, how to use the product, how to treat the product, event of emergency, and all that sort of stuff. It's a legal document that you need to have when making these sort of products to the general public. So one part of it is section 2, as you can see, which is composition information on ingredients. Now the ingredients in this particular product is pale oil, naphtha, and IPA. Now, just to give you a brief overlook, I mean, you can investigate this yourself just by, even if you just Googled CAS and the number next to the item, it will give you all the information about what that particular product is and where it's used and all the rest of it. So, I'll give you my brief preliminary of what I've worked it out to be. Now, pale oil is basically a derivative of the refinery process. So when they're making diesel, petrol, rocket fuel, whatever, pale oil is a part of that. It's almost like a nondescript product, mainly used for lubrication in oils and all that sort of thing, and in particular it is used for lubrication in this particular product here. So without this would dry out the internal parts of the car. So they've used pale oil as a lubrication chemical. You've got naphtha here. Naphtha here is also a cleaning part. It's a hydrocarbon. Now naphtha is almost like a subgenre of chemicals. So under that, white spirits and naphtha, methylated spirits and naphtha, campfire oil is a naphtha. I'm not sure if paraffin's a naphtha, but you can check that out yourself. But that naphtha is more of a general kind of oil. It's another part of the oil refining process. And then at the bottom you've got IPA. which is isopropyl alcohol. This is the same stuff you get in your hand gel, or, you know, if you get it in your, you know, when they wipe you, if you're having a tattoo or an injection, that smell of alcohol, IPA, that's what that is. That's the stuff that, you know, cleans up the area that you're using it on, if you're using it on your skin. But in this particular setup, it's used as a drying agent, because if it didn't dry, you'd leave an oily kind of sludge with inside the intake. Now, the pale oil is mainly used as the lubricant, because once again, if you just dried out the lubricant, then you wouldn't have anything. It would just kind of cancel each other out. So while they're cleaning up the internals of your engine, which is what I understand the naphtha to be, that's meant to be more of the cleaner, much as it does with your brushes. You know, if you've got paint brushes, you use white spirit to clean it up, or yeah, if you use paintbrush, you use white spirit to clean it up. That's what the naphtha seems to be in this particular setup. So the pale oil is the lubricant, the naphtha is more the cleaner, and then you need a drying agent. You need it to dry. It can't just sit there and have an oily residue. So this is what they've used the IPA for. Over this side, you can see WT. I'm not exactly sure what WT stands for, but I do know that these are the percentages of it which makes up the actual total Seafoam formula. So, you know, 40 to 60% of it is pale oil, which I understand to be the lubricant of the whole, you know, of the whole composition. And then you've got naphtha, which I believe to be more the cleaning aspect of it, which makes up 25 to 35% of the whole product. And then you've got IPA, the isopropyl alcohol, which makes up 10 to 20% of the of this product as well. So this gives you a good breakdown of how this all works out. So at any time you could have 90% oil-based cleaners, or whatever you want to call it, at any stage. And this is just obviously because it can vary from time to time. They can't get it 100% accurate, but these are the tolerances in which it's going to work in. If you want to look through this, they're free open documents. You can just scroll down and have a look, and it tells you lots and lots of stuff about how to treat it, what its uses are, and everything you probably need to know about the product. So just to show that the information is readily available on the internet. And you can use these numbers to actually research every single one of these chemicals. So, yeah. So now we know what's in it, pale oil, naphtha and IPA. We can move on and have a look and see what we can do with it.